All right. Welcome. Let's find a super comfortable seat. So it's fine if you want some back support. That's okay. If you want to sit away from the back of your chair in a tall spine, that's also okay. And I'll invite you just to relax the shoulders first by bringing them up towards the um, up towards the ears and then back and then down. And we do that a couple times, bring the shoulders up and back and down. And then, wiggling it out and just trying to get into a space where there's hardly any tension in your body. And sometimes that's easier said than done. But if you do have any places that are tense, sometimes shaking or wiggling can help just loosen it up and keep it a little more supple and a little easier. So if you like, you can close your eyes. If that's not comfortable, that's okay. You can just lower your gaze or make your eyes go a little fuzzy. Focus on one point to come inward, and then we'll start focusing on the breath. In and out through the nose where you can, but of course, if you're stuffed up or it's more comfortable for you today to breathe through your mouth, don't beat yourself up. We're just doing what we can do. It's all okay. And then see where the breath is. Is it in the chest? Can you feel your chest rising and falling? Can you feel your ribs expanding and contracting? Can you bring the breath into the belly using the diaphragm, letting the belly swell on the inhale and sink on the exhale? These might be some of your biggest breaths of the day. Nice, long, slow, deep inhale, filling the belly, and a nice, long, slow exhale. And I'll invite you to use a mudra. So hand positioning, bringing the thumb and index fingers together. We're going to do a countdown from 10. So if this feels good to you, we'll start with 10 in, touching the thumb to the middle finger, the ring finger, and the pinky finger, and out, touching the ring finger, the middle finger, and the index finger, and that's 10. And then repeating in, touching each finger, and exhale, and that's 9. And carry on like this with your own pace. These can be really slow, long, belabored breaths, or a little bit quicker if that's what feels good in your body. And if you reach 1 before the time, that's okay. Just start back at 10. And if you lose count, that's also okay. Just start back at 10. The goal isn't necessarily to count down to 1 and be finished. The goal is to stay present with your breath, with the counting, with the hand movements. And don't beat yourself up. We all lose track. Our minds are prone to wander. But stick with it. Come back to the counting. If you lose it, no big deal. And I'll call you back in a little bit. And then take your time. When you go back to the end of your next exhale, you can bring your hands back to your lap. You can stop counting and just scan your body. Feel where the breath is now. Is your heart beating quickly or slowly? Is there any area in your body that you're noticing is tense or tight? Breathe into it or slightly adjust or move to become even more comfortable. And then now is a good time to set an intention, if you like, for your practice for the day. Something you want to cultivate, something you want more of, phrased in a positive sentence, a positive way. It could be an emotion. It could be a state of being. Maybe you want to be less judgmental. You can say, I'm meeting myself where I am. I'm treating myself with compassion. I'm experiencing life with curiosity, with optimism, or anything else. So set your intention and then send it out into the ether. Let the universe help conspire to make it so. And then we'll come back to this idea of linking breath and movement. We'll tuck the chin to the chest. And then exhaling to tip the chin up. This can be done with your eyes open or eyes closed. Inhaling and exhaling with the movement of the neck. Inhaling to tip up. And exhaling, chin to the chest. And again, these could be slower or faster than what I'm doing. It doesn't matter. We're just thinking about using the movement and the breath as the object of meditation. So staying in the present moment by focusing on our inhales and our exhales. And then we'll switch directions, thinking about tipping the ear to a shoulder on an inhale and coming back to center on the exhale, tipping the other ear to the other shoulder on the inhale and back to center on the exhale, and carrying on like this for a few breaths. And again, they can be as long and slow or as quick as feels good in your body. The goal isn't necessarily to get to a certain pace. The goal is to be settled, to feel what it feels like to be breathing, to be experiencing your body today, because it's a different body every day, and we have different abilities and different levels of flexibility, and that's okay. That's really normal. And then we'll come back to center, and we'll do the same left to right. So inhaling, looking to one side, and exhaling back to center. Inhaling to the other side, and exhaling back to center. And again, these can be as fast or as slow, and especially if you get dizzy, take it nice and slow and use the eyes to trace a line along the wall, which can help prevent the dizziness or the vertigo if that's something that bothers you. We'll do one more round like that, inhaling to one side, and then bringing the head back to center. On the exhale, inhaling to the other side, and exhaling, head back to center. And again, scanning the body, seeing how you feel. Can you make yourself even more comfortable? Can you adjust in any way to bring a little more peace and a little more comfort into your body? And then we'll come into another breathing pattern. So again, in and out through the nose where you can, filling the lungs, and then retaining the breath at the top for any amount. Again, you might want to start small, maybe a 3-second hold, maybe you build up to 4, 5, 6-second hold, but it's not a contest. There's no prize for holding your breath the longest. And then exhaling slowly when you're all the way empty, inhaling back, filling the lungs, letting the belly swell, and then retaining the breath at the top just for a few seconds until you feel that need to exhale. Exhaling completely, pulling the belly in to help release all of the air from the lungs. And then filling the lungs, filling the belly, filling the ribs all the way up to the chest, and holding the breath at the top. Your pacing might be different from mine, which is fine. Doesn't matter how quickly or slowly you go. Our goal is to fill the lungs, to hold the lungs when they're full, and then to empty the lungs completely, no matter what that looks like in terms of how fast or how slow you're going. On your next inhale, make it the biggest inhale of your day so far. And then we're going to hold the breath even longer. So hold it, hold it, hold it until you really feel that need to exhale. And then let it all go through the mouth. Let your breath return to normal a little bit. And we're going to do that again. Inhaling, filling the lungs as deep and big of a breath as you've taken all day. And then hold it, hold it, hold it until you really feel that need to exhale. And then let it all out through the mouth. Lovely. Let your breathing return to normal, and we'll do that one final time. Inhaling through the nose, filling the lungs, filling the chest, using the diaphragm, getting as much air as possible into the lungs, and then sustaining the breath at the top. And when you really feel the need to exhale, letting it all go through the mouth. And then nice and easy, nice and slow. Observe the breath. You might feel your heart racing a little bit. You might feel your breathing is faster than usual. That's fine. We're just going to calm everything down. In and out through the nose. Nice, slow, even breaths. Lovely. And then we'll match another movement with the breathing. If this works for you, great. And as always, if something doesn't work for you, modify it, change it a little bit, or skip it, right? You tried it, it didn't work. Just go back to watching the breath. Now it's not required to always do everything. You can always make a choice. It's your practice, and within your practice, it's important to have the autonomy over your body, your breath, your movement, your decision. Really, I'm just here to offer some suggestions. So, if you'd like to open your eyes for this, or at least see what it looks like, we're going to do some movements with the arms. So inhaling the arms up, and exhaling, let them come down. Inhaling up, and exhaling down. And this can be as quickly or as slowly as you want. If you want it to be like an arm exercise and really expanding and contracting the intercostal muscles. It can look like this. If you're looking for something more gentle and something a little more supportive, maybe it looks something more like this. But you choose, and there's nothing to say you can't mix it up in the midst. We're going to stay here for a minute, so see what works for you. And as always, if it doesn't work, just sit quietly, watch your breathing, or imagine your arms moving with the breath. That visualization can also be a great object of meditation. It doesn't always have to be physical movements. So here we go. And then on your next exhale, give yourself a little break. Feel free to shake it out or do any stretches or movements, maybe some more shoulder rolls or a neck roll to counter that exercise that we just did, matching the breathing to the arm movements. Find some stillness. Find your breath, especially if your breaths become belabored or your heart rate is up. Which is great, which is fine. It's just we're practicing then bringing everything back down, bringing things back to stillness, bringing things back to neutral. And then we'll do a second round of matching the arms to the breathing. And again, you can also visualize this or change the pace or do a little bit, rest a little bit, do a little bit. There's lots of ways to make this more accessible for you. But this time the arm movement will be in and out instead of up and down. So inhaling in and exhaling out. Inhaling in and exhaling out. And again, this could look fast. Or it could look more slow. So think about what your body's asking for, what your body feels like doing today, and feel free to mix it up until you find the pace that feels good, looks good, is sustainable, and you can always take a break. And here we go. And then on your next exhale, let your arms go, let your hands come back to your thighs, wiggle or stretch or do whatever you need to do, whatever feels good to undo that any tension that built up during that breathing exercise. And then to round out our practice, we'll do a body scan, seeing how we feel, how the muscles are, letting the muscles really relax off the bones. So if you want to lean back in your chair, if you've been self-supporting, that's great. And if you want to close your eyes, if you've had your eyes open, that's also great. Or again, you can lower your gaze and make your eyes go fuzzy. But we'll start at the crown of the head and scanning through the facial features, the eyebrows and the forehead, relaxing any wrinkles, and letting the eyes sink into their sockets, letting the jaw be slack, relaxing the nose and the neck, letting the shoulders be heavy, relaxing the elbows and the wrists and the hands, all of the fingers, letting all the tension out, relaxing the chest and the abs, the hips, letting them sink into the chair, relaxing the legs, the right and left thighs, and the hamstrings on the back of the legs, the knees and the calves, the shins and the ankles, letting your legs be really heavy, relaxing the feet, the heels on the left and right, the soles and arches of the feet, the balls of the feet, relaxing all of the toes on each foot, the top of the foot, and then breathing from the tips of the toes up to the crown of the head, and then out from the crown of the head down to the tips of the toes. Inhaling up to the crown of the head and exhaling down to the tips of the toes. We'll do a few more like that. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes.